It weighs in at about 48 pounds.
What's up, everybody? You're watching Model Aviator. I'm Adam, and this week we have another episode in our Model Aviators and Their Models series. This is the last of our footage from SEFF 2023. We met up with a gentleman named Darrel Sprayberry. Darrel actually works for the AMA and competes at the scale national level in the helicopter class. And this is going to be a first for our channel, an RC helicopter, and it happens to be the largest RC helicopter I've ever seen up close and personal. Darrel owns a Vario quarter-scale 206 Jet Ranger that weighs, I think he said, 48 pounds. This thing is a giant. It is very impressive, tremendous amount of detail, modeled after a Georgia State Patrol helicopter that was actually stationed very close to where Darrel lives. He saw it flying over his house multiple times. Maybe they were looking for him. Anyway, he has a really good story about people mistaking his model for the actual helicopter, so you know you really built a good scale model and you fly at scale when people do that. You're going to see the usual. You're going to see an interview with Darrel, hear a couple cool stories, get all the details on that helicopter, and then you're going to see a demo. In fact, this was the noontime demo that Darrel flew at SEFF on the Friday that Heidi and I attended. Very good flight. This is something kind of cool and different, and we're glad to be able to share it with you. If you need anything from Tower Hobbies or Horizon Hobby, our affiliate links are in the description. When you use those, it helps support our channel, and we appreciate you. Thank you if you do. Enjoy this helicopter, and we'll see you next week with something else cool with wings or rotors, or it'll fly. All right, folks, we're here with Darrel Sprayberry and his incredible helicopter. Darrel, tell us what this is.
This is a Vario quarter-scale 206 Jet Ranger. I built it to compete with at the Nationals. It's kind of an old girl. She's about 15 years old now. But it was modeled after the GSP. And that's the competition. You take pictures of the full size and you try to replicate everything you can to make it look like it just got shrunk. And
it does.
It's electric. The body was bought by from Vario, modified to do the things I wanted it to do. And I built the engine and transmission and all the bells and whistles to make it work.
So what kind of motor?
It has a Castle Vertigo motor in it.
Okay.
Castle 160 speed controller.
Okay.
It weighs in at about 48 pounds.
Wow. And how many batteries you fly?
I'm flying it on 4 6S5000s in series parallel.
Wow.
Don't need all that to fly it, because when it's flying, it's only pulling 38, 40 amps.
Wow.
But needed the nose weight, so
right.
Might as well have useful.
Might as well have that. So what kind of flight time do you get?
Well, I could probably push it out to close to 20 minutes.
Wow, that's something else.
Another reason for the series parallel back 15 years ago, we didn't have the batteries we got today.
Right.
And
right. Yeah, that's very, very impressive. So what made you want to do the Georgia State Patrol helicopter?
Well, when you're competing, the hardest thing is getting documentation to emulate the helicopter. And this one was based in Kennesaw, and I live in Dalton, Georgia, which is only about 50 miles away.
Right.
So I could go down and take pictures. I've probably taken over 2,000 pictures of this helicopter, and still had things that I wish I'd have got a different angle,
Right.
So
it is an impressive helicopter, and we've got some flight footage of this thing from the noon demo. Okay. You did a really good job. It looks so real. You know, most model helicopters look like model helicopters. If you weren't at a model show, you could see this thing from 100 yards away and think it was a real chopper. It even sounds real.
Tell you a story. When I first built it, I was down here on this flight line flying it while they were doing the morning briefing and stuff, because I wanted to get a couple of flights on it before everybody started looking at it, you know.
Right.
Well, Bob and the other guy, I can't remember his name, that was running the event, shut the flight line down, run down here, because they thought there's a prison over here close. And they thought the GSP was looking for somebody to escape.
That's hilarious. That's when you know your helicopter is scale, when you fool everybody at the model show.
This is an extended fuel system that they started putting on the Jet Rangers. When they built them, when you put the nozzle in from the side, they can't fill the tank completely full because it runs out.
Okay.
So they put this elbow on, and you can see markers on how much fuel is in there. And they could put actually about 15 extra gallons on board. And of course, you got the fuel cap.
Yeah.
All this stuff was made by hand. It wasn't 3D printed.
Wow.
That was before the days of 3D printing.
So what are all those pieces made of?
Anything and everything.
That is really incredible work. Even the floor pans, the diamond plate floor pans, that is really an incredible helicopter. Outstanding. Man.
Now, the other thing is on the cross tubes here, this is the exact number of screws in the correct placement. That's how at the Nationals, that's what they were looking at.
One other question. What's the span of this rotor blade?
They are 1,050 millimeter blades.
Okay.
Each one.
Wow. That's Molly, the dog, by the way. Isn't that right, Molly? Come here. She comes with the helicopter. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Well, it's kind of trying because